Hello again, everybody. So we're back a week later after doing some of that maintenance on the deck here, and we're getting ready to install the new spindles that I got. We're also going to install some blades. At any rate, an update about my stroke situation. I am feeling a little bit better. Kind of get a little tired, and still haven't got the fine motor movements back in my hand and my foot. But I think I'm way better off than what I was before. So at any rate, it's Sunday. I'm bored out of my mind, and so I thought I'd come out here and throw some new parts on this. At any rate, let's get started. All right, so I told you I was going to order one spindle and then reuse two of them. Unfortunately, I found another problem here. If you look right here, see that this leg is broken off on this one spindle. And I noticed that when I flipped the deck around to take a look at the top side of it and check the idler pulleys and so on and so forth. And I saw a crack in this leg right here. You can see it's got a bunch of dirt and stuff in it right like that. And that tells me that that's been cracked for a long time. So instead of ordering one spindle, I ordered two, and so we're going to put those on right now. Alright, so here's the new spindle right here. I got this off of eBay. I got a pair of them for like 42 bucks, super cheap. And on top of that, they even come with the mounting hardware. So before I go ahead and mount this up, there's a few things I want to do first. First things first, I want to put these side by side. I want to compare their height. Make sure that the overall height of both of these spindles are the same. I want to make sure that the mounting flanges are the same height, which is this, whoops, that's this surface right here. I want to make sure these heights are the same. I also want to make sure that the pulley widths are also the same. Yeah, these look good. Yeah, they're right on. Of course, my left hand is still not all that stable, but yeah, they're right on. So at any rate, so now that I know that the spindles are correct, I'm not just going to throw those on here, the new ones on here. The reason for that, we have all of this crap that's on the deck right here. So what I want to do is I want to make sure we get rid of all of that, and that will make sure that that spindle fits all the way down on the deck. Because if you get debris under one of the couple of the legs or something like that, it can cause that spindle to sit crooked, and then that's going to throw things off. So I'm just going to take a wire brush. We'll go in here and wire brush these down. Not trying to get it necessarily down to like bare metal or nothing. All I really want to do is just get it clean. So when I set the new deck down on there, or when I set the new spindles down on there, they mount properly. And I'm going to do this on all of the spindle mount holes. Okay. I'm going to take my spindle and stick it on here. And I want to see if it's stable. See how that rocks a little bit like that? Not a big fan of that. See if I can tell just by feeling it which one of these. Yeah, this one. Let's knock this down a little bit. Yeah, that's a lot better there. So I'm going to knock this one down a little more. Okay, there we go. There it is right there. Okay, good. Very good. So what I want to do before I bolt this down, I'm going to look across this pulley here. I want to see how well it lines up with this idler right here. Let's get some bolts started in it. Here we go. Oh, here we go. Hey, look at that. All right. Yeah, this deck has got some issues. Guess we'll see how that plays out with the final product here. Actually get to mowing with it. I have a belt coming for it, a deck belt coming for it as well, but it hasn't arrived yet. Hopefully it'll get here Monday. I can toss that thing on there and we'll give it a try. See if the belt decides to fly off of it. Okay, and the last one, I'm not tightening these down just yet. All I'm really doing is just threading them in there finger tight. Okay. Alright. Alright, so now we can move on to the next spindle. Like I said, I'm not trying to take down the bare metal. Just want to get the mounting surface free of debris and anything like that that could interfere with the installation. Wipe that down. Okay. See, this one's got a little bit of rock to it as well. Maybe I'm just overjudging it. Let's see how these line up with the pulleys. It lines up great with this pulley and doesn't line up with this one. That is kind of a bit concerning. I may have to take a look at that and see if maybe this bracket here is bent. I would just think that these would line up. So at any rate, let's stick some bolts in this thing. Slide them in there finger tight. This spindle lines up, when I look across it this way, that spindle lines up nearly perfect with the idler. And there's that one. So now, we're on the last one here. This is the spindle that I did the spindle shaft swap in. Now because it's used, I'm going to wire brush this area right here, but I'm also going to wire brush that too and get any debris and stuff off of that so it mounts nice and flush. Looks like I'm going to have to put brushes in my drill. Either that or by the way it's sounding, I think I'm just going to replace it. And here's the last leg. Yeah, I'm on my last leg. Let's take a look at that. Much better. Probably could tilt this camera up for you guys, you know that? Yeah, we tried that. Said it's just the same thing. Run a wire brush over it. Okay, so there we go. Let's put this bad boy on here. I think it fits like a saddle on a hog. Okay, so when I look across from here to the idler pulley, if I do see the pulley moving there, here, let me zoom in a little bit here. I can do that with the remote, isn't that handy? So you see how this has got that back and forth movement like that? When I look across from this pulley to the idler, it lines up good with it back like that. It doesn't line up very good. It's at an angle. It's pointing down. So instead of pointing at the top of the pulley, pointing at the top of the idler pulley, it's pointed probably somewhere right around in here. That's not what I want. So I'll go ahead and let me play with this a little bit and see if I can just get it to see. Yeah, that's even worse. See if by swapping where the legs bolt up, see if that makes a difference. And that right there is, yeah, that's still the same. I've tried all 4 legs now. This one seems to have the least amount of play. All right. Look across the top from here to here. When I push that down, it lines up with this pulley better. So I think what I'm going to do here, let's see if I can find a washer to put underneath that, to go underneath this leg right here. The front to back doesn't have the problem, it's the side to side. So that right there, that's a copper washer for a brake fitting or a fuel hose or fuel line or something like that. Let's see if that's good enough. By golly, that's it. You know, a copper washer probably isn't the greatest thing to be using. There's still a little play in there, but it's not like what it was. As long as I get some of it out of there, I think I'll be pretty happy. But a copper washer is malleable, and it can be crushed, and so probably not the best choice. We're going to need to reuse the old blade nuts. It had the broken off star right here on the spindle shaft. So that means I am short 1 nut. These 2 nuts right here are the actual nuts that hold on the blades that are off 2 of the spindles. And I'm missing 1. So what am I going to do to replace that missing nut? So if you look right here on top of the old spindle, there's also a nut up there that holds the pulley on. Take one of these old ones that holds on the blade, compare them side by side. They are the same nut, same thread, and same 24mm drive. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the best 3 that I have. I'm going to use this nut here. Here's a nut from one of the other spindles on the pulley, and then this one here appears to be the best out of the remaining 2 that I have. So I'm going to zing this off of here with the impact. And then I'm going to clean the threads up on these nuts. I'm going to use the newer nuts on the newer spindle, on the new spindles. I'm going to use this older nut. I'll clean it up real good with a wire brush, and then I'll have to clean up this spindle around the star there in order to mount the blade. Alright, so now I have 2 really decent nuts. So I'm going to take this wire brush here that's on the drill. I'm going to use that to clean out all of these threads. Whoa! Okay, let's hit it one more time. Alright, let's see how we did. Nice and clean. So we're going to use this nut on this spindle, on this blade right here. And let's do the same with these. These nuts still even have some of the anodizing left on them, which is pretty nice. And now, one nice clean nut. Let's see how it fits on this. Look at that. Fits like a dream. Goes on there nice and smooth, which is what we want. One of these days I'm going to bash that camera too hard. Alright, and there we go. The nuts are all cleaned up. Look at that. Perfect. Okay. So now we can focus on getting some blades installed. So we are over here and we're focused on this nail. There's a reason why we're focused on that thing. Okay. So here are my new blades. You can't hardly see those. Let me widen this out just a little bit. That's as wide as it'll go. Here's my new blades, okay? These are supposed to be genuine MTD blades. And they are hallmarked right here. I think here it says MTD right there. So at any rate, these were, all 3 of these were $31, something like that on eBay. And so anytime I get bargain basement price stuff like this, you know, I like to check something on these blades. What I like to check is to make sure that they're balanced good. Because if these blades aren't balanced good, it's going to cause vibration on the deck. And that vibration is going to lead to stuff like you saw, like stuff all fit and wonky and everything like that. And so what I will do to check the balance on these blades, we have this point. Let me take these gloves off. So what we have is we have this star set up right here. And as you see, right in the middle of the blade, we have this point right here. Now I'm going to use that, and I'm going to set this blade right in the center of the shank of that nail. And I'm going to check these blades and make sure that they're balanced. See how that thing hangs nice and straight like that? That means that blade is balanced okay and it's ready to go. Of course, if it's a genuine MTD blade, they should come balanced already. Now the key here is you can get these where they might just be a little bit off on the shank of that screw. And that's going to affect your balance reading. So always get them right in the middle of the shank of that screw. If they hang level like that, they're balanced. Now if these weren't balanced, or if you're using a used blade and you want to balance them, what you would do is you would grind some of the metal off to lose weight on the side that's too heavy. The heavy side's going to droop down, the light side's going to stick up. But yeah, that's good right there. I figured it would be. And we'll check this last blade here. And there we go. Yeah, that's good and level. It's hanging nice and straight. Okay, so we know that these blades are balanced well. You know, when they say MTD, you know, it's probably going to be okay. But, you know, I also repair electronics. And there's a lot of knockoff crap that comes from China. And just because it says MTD on it doesn't really say anything anymore. For all you know, it might be some, you know, it might be some stupid factory out of Hong Kong or something like that, you know, that knocks these things off every single day that ends in Y. So at any rate, that's why I like to check them just to be sure. So now we can mount the blades onto the new spindles. And all we need to do is just line up that star right there with the star that's cast into the spindle shaft. And once you get it there, it'll slide right down. Just make for sure that it slides all the way down, that it doesn't get hung up, the star doesn't get hung up, you know, and just you want to make sure that's all the way down on this flange right here. So that's that. Take our nut. By the way, I think I said it, or maybe I didn't say it, but these blades are like 18¼ inches long. They call them out at 18½, but they're 18¼ all right. Huh. This spindle shaft has some wobble to it. You know, but that's what you get when you buy cheapy aftermarket spindle shafts. Now, if you question what side of the blade goes up or down, look right here, and it says bottom. So this side right here goes down. Finger tighten that. Now that spindle is much better. It's not, it doesn't wobble side to side. Let's stop that and let's see if the blades clear one another. Yep, the blades are clearing. Yeah, I'm not real happy with this one here. See that thing wobbling back and forth? I'll zoom it in a little bit more. But yeah, that thing wobbles a lot. So I did that a couple of times. Let me see if I can zoom in a little more and show you that wobble. Can you see it wobbling back and forth? I know it might not look like a lot, but when these blades get up to full RPM, that's actually quite a bit of wobble, you know, when you're getting all the way up to full RPM. I'm not sure what speed these spin at. I'm guessing it's probably around 2,000, maybe 2,500 RPM, something like that. When you get that kind of wobble going at that kind of velocity, that's going to lead to a lot of vibration. I may call the company I got this from and just tell them that one of them is bent, or one of them wobbles. One of them's fine, one of them wobbles. Yeah, that's quite a bit. And it isn't just the nut or the shaft, it's the whole blade and everything going back and forth. So that's how I know that we have probably have a machining error of some kind on this one. I'm sorry, if you're reusing a spindle and you're putting a new blade on it, you want to make sure that this star area around here is good and clean, okay? You don't want any rust or scale or debris anywhere in here, because what it can do is if you get a little piece of debris on there, it can cause the blade to sit crooked. I'm kind of exaggerating there. And that's going to lead to balance issues. It's going to make the deck vibrate. So at any rate, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a wire brush all of that out, Get that rest scale, get in here into the points on each one of these legs of the star here. Get right into those points and really get that cleaned out super good. And then I'm also going to clean the threads here too on the where the nut goes. I'm going to use this one right here, just a wire brush that looks like a barrel. We'll use that to knock this down and get it squared away. Hey guys, you don't have to use a fancy schmancy setup like that one right there. You can always just use a regular old school wire brush. It'll do the exact same thing. I just like to use power tools because it makes things go a lot faster. Again, I'm not trying to get this thing down to bare metal. Just trying to make sure that these surfaces are all clean, that we don't have any rust or scale built up. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that. I might say it 4 or 5 times more before all this is done. Okay. Almost time to replace my drill here. Yeah, the brushes in this drill are starting to get dicey. So, let's see if this nut will thread on nice and clean right now. Well, that thing sure doesn't go on there very good, does it? Generally, I like to use the rule that if it'll thread on by hand, it should thread all the way down to the top of the spindle, to the top of the star by hand. This one just isn't doing that. So let's take a look at the condition of these threads. Let's take a look right here. Yeah, I think that's it right there. Look real closely at the thread right on the bottom. That thread's a bit galled out right there. Threads are a bit rough right there. That doesn't mean I'm out of luck though, because I still have another nut here that I can try. When we're installing mower blades, because they're sharp and because they are a rotating assembly, you don't want to cheap out on what bolts you're using or what fasteners you're using. You want to use fasteners that work right, that fit right, and that torque down right. The last thing you want is one of these blades popping out from underneath the deck and shooting out and, like hitting your mother-in-law or something like that. So I'm going to clean the threads out on this one, on this nut here. Let's see if these are any better. Alright, let's have a look at these threads. Yeah, I think these are looking a little bit better than that other one. Let's see how this thing goes down on here. Look at that. Threads all the way down. That's what we're looking for. So this nut right here is junk. Go down there with the other junk. Now, I got a equipment out of the way here. Notice how that just dropped right down over that star. That's a good sign. That means you got the rest of the scale and all the garbage off of it. Bin this. That one wobbles too. Yeah. You know, guys, I thought I would try these cheap spindles just to see how they work and how they act and everything. And after looking at these, having one brand new out of the package over there that's all wobbly and everything, not sure I like that. As a matter of fact, it's not the fact whether or not I'm not sure. I don't like it. All that extra movement does is it just tears things up. Oh yeah, here, take a look at this. Friday night we had severe weather come through here. It was part of that same storm system. Yeah, I'll buy a vowel. Same storm system that went through Arkansas and the Boot Heel, Missouri, and Kentucky and Tennessee. That did all that damage and killed those people. This right here, you see in the background, right here, that is my Channel Master 1544. It's a television antenna. It's actually what they call a master antenna. They, cable TV companies use that for their head ends. Apartment buildings use it when they're quite a ways away from the source, but that is for channels 2 through 6. I use that antenna for E-skip, and as you can see, Mother Nature bent it into a pretzel for me the other night. My pole blew down, my antenna pole blew down. So maybe one of you guys will feel sorry for me and you'll send me a 30-foot Roan 25G tower or something. That'd be great. I would love you if you'd do that. But at any rate, let's get these blades tightened down. Okay. See my broken grease zert right there. I'm such a damn genius. Yep, I did that. But when you put your new spindles on, throw some grease in there too. Get them greased up real good. I need to get a tube of grease. Go ahead and take this mower deck down. Check these bolts and make sure that they're plenty tight. Oh yeah, I'm sure glad I checked that. Grimy. Yeah, glad I checked that. That's why I always double check my work, guys. You just never know when you might be able to prevent a problem before it becomes one. I don't know what the torque spec on these is, so I'm just tightening them down until I feel the torque run out of the threads. Or you just get it so tight where you know if you pull it a little more, you're going to start pulling the threads out of it. Get it to just about that point. Pretty good. That thing is loose. I I said, always a good idea to recheck your work. Okay, there we go. It's also not a half bad idea. Just make sure that the blades aren't getting too close to any of the stuff in the deck here, these baffles, anything like that. I can take this deck down, and I'm going to put it over there next to the mower. I'm going to flip it back over, and I'm going to check it one more time for any issues. That one's tight. I need to leave that one loose. I may have to take this bolt loose right here to reposition this belt guard. Then again, maybe not. I'll just wait on that. Also, check this grass chute over here. It's a little loose. Alright, guys. So there we go. Alright, there it is. I'm going to take this deck down and line it up next to the mower. And all I need is a belt. I still don't have all my strength, so things won't get out of here. There we go. All right. Ow! Dropped it right on my foot. Well done, stupid. Let's do that again. Move this thing over and get it lined up. And so there it is. Ready to stick a belt on? Stick it back under the mower.